crazy. It's like you don't think you can do something, but then if you don't try, you'll never know. And that's the same with literally everything. In business, in health, in relationships, and everything goes back to the same thing.
Poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. So if you think that you're only gonna make a certain amount of money, if you think you're only gonna lift a certain amount, and you think these certain ways, your thoughts are gonna be what's gonna cap those things. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because we have another local Arizonian. Is that a thing?
I think it is.
Arizonian?
Yeah.
Arizonian here. I have Mr. Robert Mulvin here with us, and he has All Pro Shades, local business in Arizona. Today we're gonna be breaking limiting beliefs, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about our past experiences, talking about how we were both like underdogs in our past life and the different things that we've conquered. But he's an amazing man, loves his family, takes care of other people. Actually, probably I'd like to say out of anybody that I've interviewed, because, well, you guys don't know this, but before this, we did a full tour in our facility. You're probably one of the biggest guys with the biggest hearts that I have met.
Thank you.
Like the things that you're saying, I'm listening to you very carefully, and probably, yeah, just one of the biggest hearts of somebody that I've had on the podcast in a really, really long time. So this is going to be a great podcast. We'll put all of his contact info in the description, but welcome on the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. Yeah. Okay, before we get started, this is a question that I ask everybody that comes on, because the whole point is, why are people listening to this podcast, or why should they? So I want to ask you, why should somebody listen to this podcast?
Because, not just because of my story or because of the stories that you get, but because it is about growing, overcoming, taking something from nothing and turning it into something, bringing people up along the way and helping others succeed, not just for your own vanity, but for theirs, to want to help people. And I genuinely want to bring people up and see them succeed along with myself. I don't think about money, things, I couldn't for 15 years, but I just think about people, like the people in my company, the people around me. I want to bring them up and help people succeed in any way possible. That's what
I love that.
Yeah.
Human excellence. You like building people. We tell people that. Like, you can't run a business if you don't know how to like help more people and build them up. So tell us a little bit about what you do, how long you've been in business, and where you are right now.
I've been in business 19 years now. We do shades, retractable shades and awnings, and window screens. So shade screens that go over the windows. That's what I started when I was little. It evolved into retractable shades. So now we do the big retractable shades that go in and out, motorized, manual, up and down. A lot of businesses we're getting into now, mainly homes, residential, but it's just for shade, for comfort, for to protect your home, your windows, your floors, your carpet,
What made you get into this industry? Like, why? I think to myself, okay, here's an example. You have a Costco membership?
I do.
Okay, have you ever bought one of the Scrub Daddies from Costco? Do you know what I'm talking about?
But I saw it on Shark Tank.
Yeah, I think to myself, I'm like, how come I didn't invent the freaking Scrub Daddy? Like, how did that not pop up in my brain? That guy came up with something that's a product. What made you decide to get in the sunshades?
Sunshades, it was a friend's dad, right? So I didn't graduate. I dropped out when I was 16, and I was on house arrest. I either had to get a job or go to school.
Sure.
I chose to get a job. So I worked fast food, Carl's Jr., mall jobs, Arby's, and one of my friend's dads came through the drive-thru and he was like, hey, you can make a lot more money by making screens because it's piecework. Little did I know it was going to be in a hot-ass garage with no AC and just a fan, and it gets really hot in the summer, and that's when it's busy. And so, but I found I was really good at it. Like, I can make a lot of screens, and it's piecework, so the more you make, the more money you make. But it has to be quality screens. It has to be a quality product that you put out. And so I made a lot of screens. I made good money when I was 16, able to move out. He sold the business. I started working for the guy he sold it to. He was an older gentleman. He really older, and so he made me install. So I had to learn how to drive stick because this work truck was a stick shift. So I started installing the screens. So then I knew all the windows. And so if you know how to install, you know how to measure. So he made me start selling. And he wanted out, so he sold the business. And it's seasonal. It's only peak seasons, right? From March to, like, we're winding down now because people are like, I'll just wait till next year. But I was just really good at making screens, and then I figured out everything about it. I got a job in the winter from the supply shop owner. He had just bought the company, so they supply materials to all the shade and screen companies around the Phoenix Valley. They have a lock on this fabric that we use. They're exclusive to Arizona. And so then I started delivering to other screen companies, and I started learning about awnings and shades, and I was like, holy shit, there's all these other things that are tied with screens. And I worked there for 5 years while also working with making screens and selling and installing for the other companies. So I've always worked 12, 14-hour days, 6, 7 days a week, just because I lived on my own. I was 17 till I was 22. And so that's when we started.
When did you meet your wife in between all this?
22.
Oh, okay.
The month I started my business.
Wow. How did that happen? Was she doing it too?
We went to high school together, but I didn't know. Well, I left so early. She knew my brother. She knew every single person I knew, but she didn't know who I was. A lot of people did because I was terrible. Like I was in the wrong side. Where like I would fight all the time, and so people would want to see if they could beat me up. You know, so I was kind of a little bit known in a bad way. But we met at a bar and just went on a date, and it was like that. And so that was right when I started my business with my best friend, the screen business, All Pro Shade Concepts. I think had it not been for her or that, I'd be in prison, jail, dead, you know, because prior to that, there was a lot of bad things happening. Shootings, just crazy stuff. And so she pulled me away from that. And, you know, it was like instant chemistry. We moved in within 6 months, got married a year later. And so she kind of grounded me like crazy. And so I think had that not happened, I might have done something with the business. I don't know. But I started the business the same month we met. So,
wow.
Yeah, with my best friend, Jeremy.
That's so cool. How do you think she's really helped structure you? Like, why do you think you... How she helped develop
She's so grounded. Like, so she had a child. She was 2. My daughter, I ended up adopting her, but she, you know, she was grounded. She didn't party. She was so genuine, so nice, and like, she didn't understand because I still kept, you know, I wanted to party on the weekends and still like, and she's like, why? What's the point? You know? And, you know, that eventually stopped, and I was just, she's so real. I don't know, it's crazy. It's weird talking about, I haven't talked about her ever, really, on anything.
Good, we're getting it out right now so she can watch this later.
No, yeah, and she's like, I wouldn't say, like, I was so excited. I had a roommate when I met her. I was like, oh my God, I'm going on a date with the hottest chick I've ever seen.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I don't even know what to say. And then, you know, and then it worked. Like, it was cool. I don't know. So ever since then, she's been my rock. She worked. When I had the business, we were making no money. I was walking door to door. She was working at Discover Card. She was making the money. You know, she was supporting me for the first, I think, 3-4 years. Wow. She
believed in you.
Yeah.
That you could change.
Yeah, and so it just, things happen, you know. Then 2008 happens, because this was only 3 years after I started the business in 2005. And so it was like, oh my God, you know, what if I had employees and all these things, and I'd have to let them go? But I was able to write it out because I was the salesman. I did the scheduling, I did the installing, I did the making. But yeah, she was just like, and she was all for, and this is going on 19 years now. She is finally saying, when is it going to be enough? you know, but up until now, like, and she still supports everything I do. Like, she'll say, go to that conference, you know, do this. She's actually my HR, my payroll.
Oh, very good. Oh, good. So you guys do business together.
Well, yeah, she's not in the business. She does it at home.
Sure.
So it's funny because I think 90% of my companies never even met her. Wow. She likes to be herself.
That's cool.
She is in her own, I don't know, she's just cool as fuck. But yeah, she's the one that, had I not stayed with her and had she not believed in me, I probably wouldn't be anywhere even close to where I am. Not even close.
That's cool. She's probably instilled a lot of like love in you, or like I was saying, like you're so compassionate.
No, I was
like
terrible.
You talking about how like you were a bad kid before. It's funny. Okay, one time I got put in the back of a cop car.
I've had several.
I was like 8 years old. I stole a piece of candy from the store, and they brought me the whole thing. It was a whole situation, and then my mom was upset, and then I told the police officer, that my mom was in the Marines. My mom was active duty at the time. Oh my God, that guy starts laughing, and he goes, "You're in for a treat."
Yep.
And I didn't understand back then, like, what does that mean? Why is he laughing? Oh my God, I got my ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like that was not a good day.
Yeah, my parents were super lenient. Like, they were just a little bit naive, not to be mean to them.
Yeah,
but
it's just the way that it was. Yeah.
Right? So I was on house arrest. I could hang out with my older brother, which partied at the time. And I would say, I'm going with Tim. And Tim did nothing wrong in their eyes.
Yeah.
But really, we were going to parties and we were doing things. So it's like, but they helped me throughout the way, and now I'm lucky enough to help them and others.
Did you experience like a crisis or something drastic? Like some guys end up having kids, you know, so then that's their moment where it's like, oh my God, I really need to like buckle down and be serious about this because I'm bringing life into the world. Or, I mean, some people lose a family member, you know, and it wakes them up to be like, oh my gosh, you know, I need to really, like I lost my grandma like a month and a half ago, and now all of a sudden our whole family is like, you know, oh shoot, like death is real, you can die, now let's try to be better human beings. It's like, no, you should have been good the whole time. So did you experience something like that made you snap out of the drinking, the partying and all that? Or?
Well, my wife and
She's a big thing.
the 2-year-old, it's like I had a family now, right? And so I have to be there for them, and I have to provide them. We got to get out of this apartment, right? We got to get into a rental house so I can make my own screens, because I was buying screens pre-made. I can make more money if I make my own. So I took a leap of faith and rented a house even though I couldn't afford it. And so I put all this stuff together with wood, you know, the tables, I made them all myself, just to be able to make screens to boost my profit margin, to be able to have that. And so by doing that, I was able to make more money and have more advertising. Now with more advertising became more business. I found my first screener and my first installer. They were brothers. They're actually, it's a really fucked up circle, but I started working in the screen industry from their dad. And so I've known them forever. And so they knew screens before me. They've known screens since they were kids, just window screens. So, you know, we kept together. We still talk. One of them passed away last year. He moved to Michigan to be my screen sales guy. He was just retired, and at 30, right? Can you imagine that? Just living in the... and then he died 2 weeks later after he came back to work for me. So his brother worked for me doing sales, but he was my first installer. And so that gave me more ability to go out and do sales. But I still had to schedule the install, schedule the sales calls. I didn't have Google Calendar. It was all on pieces of paper and stacks of like bins. Same thing with installations. Like it was so novice. It was amazing I even got by.
What makes you so grateful? Because I sense that from you, that you have gratitude all the way around. Like I feel like you're just grateful to even be here, sitting here. Like you're grateful to even that there's AC going on right now. I feel a lot of gratitude from you. What makes you feel like keep that gratitude? Because I've had a bunch of people that have sat in that seat and they tell me that they're grateful, but like I said earlier with Bob, like the eyes are the window to the soul. Like you can tell, and like the people that have sat there, they're like not grateful, and they say that they are, but you can feel that they're not. So like, what do you do to stay like grounded and be grateful for your
just listening. Like the advice I take, before I would take it with a grain of salt, and I would be like, no, I'm better than that. Now it's like, no, I need this. Like I have to do it. It was the same thing with personal training. Like I would not do that. I let myself go. I'm still not even a tenth of the way of where I should be, but like it took me years to be like, let's work on myself. And I'm grateful for every opportunity that I get from, whether it's suppliers, relationships, coaches, trainers, and it's something clicked not till maybe just a couple years ago. It was like, yeah, just listen, right? Just take it in, and I don't know. That's a really damn good question.
I can tell.
I've never been asked that.
Well, good. It's because most people, like, they're not. I mean, work with tons of different people, and the problem is they think everything's all external, and it's like you can fix the external. Like we were saying earlier, you can fix the external if the internal is fixed.
Yeah.
Like you got to be solid with you and secure in you before anything else can.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've got a blueprint for this because you've helped other people, change their lives. Like your team is on fire, they're making a lot of money, but now you're like, okay, the money part is good. Okay, there's different avenues. But a lot of people have to remember, you got to stay coachable to grow.
Yeah.
Like some people aren't coachable, or some people are like, no, I'm capped off, I'm good. The problem with I'm good is like a lot of people say I'm doing better than most. Screw that. I don't want to say I'm doing better than most. Oh, that fires me up. Like I don't want, because I used to live that way.
So did I.
Before I met Andy, I'm like, I remember first seeing him for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing better than most. I'm not like at a 7-Eleven making $13 an hour. Like my last year selling, I made like $165,000. This is when I was in the car business, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing better than most because my parents, I'm not freaking doing drugs, so I'm doing better than most. The problem with that is like, no, there's another level, but you got to surround yourself around other people that have been where it is that you want to go.
But then you got to find those people. You got to get in, and you got to be willing to join and be willing to actually sit down and talk with people, or open up and listen. Like you said, if you don't and you just go there to be there, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, totally is a waste of time. Okay, and so now I kind of want to talk about a little bit about leadership, because you've got a team. You've got a team of like about 40 people? 30,
like
40
37,
people?
36, yeah.
Okay, and they're kind of like us, like there's a house location or a main hub location where everybody comes in. And is that where you keep all your supplies at?
We keep all our supplies, yeah. I wanted to manufacture because we were blowing up so fast pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Like I literally worked out of my house until 4 years ago. Okay. So I couldn't change the front yard. It was a dirt road, dirt backyard. All the employees, so it started getting more and more and more and more. We were getting a little bit busier. I was getting a little bit better at selling, a little bit better at advertising. Like I was throwing shit at the wall, and I think you'll never figure it out. Maybe I'll figure it out one day, but I'm doing good. So I built the business. I bought the building pre-COVID, so luckily because of the interest rate and the price. Right now it's just insane because I work in Deer Valley District, across from the Deer Valley Airport. Because of that stupid semiconductor, everything is like worth gold. Everybody thinks that which is good for me and bad at the same time, because I need a bigger building, which I'm getting. But had I not got that building, like everybody was separated.
Yeah, we like to have a hub central location
so
where everybody
once we got that, it just doubled. Then the next year doubled. Then the next year doubled. It's because of that, having a facility, oh my God, and being able to talk to everybody and be kind of like a family and talk.
Yeah.
And go over issues. Like we're still working through it, right? I have a coach. I have a few, actually, a lot. I'd like more. I need more knowledge, but the more I learn, the more we put your team together and try to work together and put systems and processes, because we didn't even have that until this year. And we're still working on our systems and processes. And so I think we're just getting started in our journey. Like we can take this, I think we can take this to beyond a level that anybody's ever seen in this industry. It's so niche. It's like, there's not, we're not HVAC, we're not plumbing, we're not.
And Arizona needs it too.
Arizona needs shade.
So you building this team now, and you're operating everybody. What's a leadership philosophy that you have? You know, now you've got everybody in a central location. You're close. You're not like Amazon where you have 2 million people. You know, so it's still small enough. So
it's still small enough, but then like the outside sales, right? They're not there. So we try to pull meetings together. This is all coming together like this year, like right now as we speak. Like we just started having meetings every Friday. Internal with the heads of the office, like the operations, and I put another guy in a seat that has been huge, you know, because I was still until a month ago finalizing orders and looking at every order that came through to make sure it was correct, calling the salesman, hey, why is this that like that, why is that like that, and then at the same time, you know, trying to figure out marketing, trying to figure out, you know, you have to approve all the ads and that, and so now I'm trying to work with somebody to get them to do that, and to be able to have that all in-house, it's not even close to finished. And we're growing month over month. And so once we finally get that established, like, I think we're going to be freaking unstoppable.
I like how you said freaking unstoppable and you stretched your neck a little bit. What is it?
Yeah, the sky's the freaking limit.
It is.
And I never thought that, right? I thought there was a cap. Like, how many homes can be made? Like, how many homes can be flipped? Everybody's keeping their homes, so they're renovating, right? Or whatever. Then you can go to other states. Then you can do other things and add product line and just add people and just make more people, more money, help more families. We're feeding 37 families.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great leadership philosophy of helping more people.
And I need to do better. I'm not going to say I'm a great leader. I'm good. I'm trying to be better. Last year I was in a huge funk, right? Nobody saw me. And I came out of my shell. Everything just started happening this year. So I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm going to keep moving forward. Learning and going to things like this and learning from other people like you and God, Andy Elliott, listening to him has been huge. Tommy Mello and just his operations, because right, he's like, Andy has sales, right, and that's what we need. We need sales. But then again, I like Tommy because he's in the service industry, and I relate to that. All these other people that are huge, they have like either supplements or they have T-shirts or things like that. I want to learn from people that have technicians and have like the ghetto guys or Andy Habaika, how they grow.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, Andy's been here to a couple of our events. Andy Habaika.
I've talked to him.
He's a great man.
And just by doing these things, we're getting hit up. Like we just sold Greg Haig some screens and shades. Yeah. The 72 Soul guy. I didn't even know that. We just got hit up by, and we went quoted yesterday, the coach of the frickin' Mercury. We sold, it's crazy things are happening. And it's like.
The networks and relationships.
Yeah, get out there.
That's, that you can have is
and
amazing.
And if you don't do that, you're just going to stay stale and not go anywhere. But I want to get better at, like you said, leadership. I think it's good, but I need help, and I know I can grow, and I need to grow in that area. So.
No, that's cool. That's cool that you could recognize that, because most people shy away from it, or they can't admit it.
I can totally see it.
You're like, no, and it's not bad. That's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather be with somebody that wants to grow versus not growing.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be coached by somebody that is already there. I like actually being coached by somebody that's like, in second place or third place, not the person at the top, because there's more room for growth. And if I can watch them grow and I can see that they can do it, then I can do it,
Yeah.
I want to know what your tattoos, what they all represent. Where'd you get them from? I'm like, you're walking around in social media, badass, all covered in everything.
No, yeah.
Where did everything start?
This guy, it started on my back when I was 15. I hid it from my parents. I had my friend's dad.
Oh, God.
And my friend came out of prison do it.
They know you have it now, right?
But, yeah. No, it's kind of obvious. I mean, it's everywhere. But it started kind of on this arm. Like I put my daughter Mia, and then my son Kingston, and you know he's got a crown, so I put this. I don't know why I put a skull. I thought it was cool looking. I just did this a week or two ago. I was just like, I want to cover my hand.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. This and this. And so I figured I want to look like this.
Oh,
and so I'm going to put this guy on here.
Is that Triton? Looks like C, no?
Yeah, it's Kronos.
Very powerful.
Yeah. And so I figured, I was like, hey, look, Bob's on my leg.
Legitimately.
You guys can't see Bob back behind here on the cameras, but he's sitting here with us, his personal trainer.
Training with me, he goes, bro, I want to look like you.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I was like,
all right, let's get it.
Put this on there,
That's cool.
and then I'm going to put another one back here. It's like, there's a lot of things. This is Jeremy. This is the guy that I started the business with. He decided to go into real estate in 06 in the boom because the houses were selling really fast, and he did really well. But he was the perfect sales guy. Like, he was my best friend, and so he was networking. He had his realtor license, so he would network, and that's how we thought we would grow because I knew the screens. He knew the networking and the sales. But that took off just way too fast. He said, this ain't going anywhere. You can have the screens. But then he passed away. So he's here on my arm. And most of it is just like I put my company back here. This was like '08 when Tribal was cool.
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to cover this up.
Right on the ankle, on the calf area, around there.
Yeah, and I just went too big with it. And then this is a rose for my daughter. And then that's, yeah.
What about the other side?
And then I have under my watch is the coordinates of where I met my wife.
Oh yeah.
And then this is just, I wanted a mechanical arm.
Oh, wow.
So,
can you open it up a little? Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
So I went a little nuts
Yeah.
there.
Walnuts are my favorite.
Yeah. And
That's
so
cool.
I just
it goes all
figured,
the way down.
you know, and I went to a guy, he's really well known, popular for freehand. And so I said, just do your thing. And so that's what
So
he
I
did.
have a question, because I have tattoos underneath my arms, and this is great because you and I can both relate to it. Do you feel like it holds you back from business, or it adds to business?
So
'Cause
it,
it's just
I
who you are,
think,
or-
so when I had these done, I was still doing sales, like
Okay.
up until a few years ago. I don't anymore, but I do network and I try to do endorsement deals and meet people, and I was wearing sleeves that covered my hands and everything. But then I just got to a point where I think it's socially acceptable. It is what it is, and I am who I am, and if they don't like that, me because of that, then I just don't want to do business with them anyway. So
I agree.
I just say, screw it, and this is who I am.
Yeah, I've told myself that too. I've had people look at me a certain way, and I'm like, I'm not an idiot. I know what they're trying to point out, and I'm like, but that's all cool, because you're just probably not my type of client, which is great, and I hope that you find somebody that can service you well.
Yeah.
But like, it's all good, you know. I think it's cool because it adds character to people.
It did, yeah. Like I was scared, so yeah, I did. When I would go to in houses, especially a little bit older people, they're not acceptable to that. I felt like I was being judged, and so I would always cover up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take their sleeves, like that I would put on.
Oh yeah, the black ones.
Yeah, and
it's
so
funny. We have
stopped.
a guy that's inside of our one of our top tier clients that trains with us. He just told us the story of the same exact thing, but he did real estate. And so he was selling like multi-million dollar homes, and so he was so scared when he would go and do the paperwork that they would judge him. So he would wear the sleeves. And then finally one day he's like, "Why? Like this is my color. This is my my life, my culture, my kids. You know, whatever it may be." And he's like, "Why do I need to hide that from somebody? Like maybe they just aren't my client."
Yeah.
But I think that's cool. Like
it's just,
you got to be you, and it's.
I got a lot more real estate to cover too, so I'm gonna keep going.
Dude, I love that. I don't think you should shy away from it because I think that's
No, and the
I think
pain
that's
of it, like, and you make content, right? Like this is the most painful thing ever, is up to the fingernail.
Yeah.
And so
can't.
I was like, hey, let's make a little video of me trying to shout out my business while
that's a good idea.
happening. And so I did that, and it was really funny. It was his idea, the tattoo artist. He's really cool. He's funny as hell.
I think it creates more content and then more conversation. It's a conversation piece or conversation starter.
Yeah, and it's Arizona. I like
I personally like them, but I don't know. Some people are some people think a certain way, and that's totally cool too. But I'm like, I like to talk about them, and it gives me more of an insight on you. Like, I want to know more about you. And then there's some people that are like, stay pure or stay clean. But I remember before I started working here, I had half of my left arm done already. And then I care so much. And this is a plus, advantage and disadvantage. I care so much about like the Elliott Group and our team and what we represent and what we're putting out, because we're in front of cameras and phones and media all day long.
Did you hide it?
No, I asked Andy and Jacqueline for their blessing.
Oh.
And I know I didn't need to. It's kind of like dating a guy.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll support me with whatever I want, but I actually care about their business, and because it's our business so much that I didn't want to ruin the brand or, you know, make certain moves or waves that they didn't like. And I said, hey, you know, and I'm very intentional, just like you. You know how you're like, you know, the dates, the coordinates, this, that, my daughter, like, you know, what you want to look like. Like, I can tell you're very methodical with the way that you think. I'm the same exact way. So I had already like everything planned out, and they know how particular that I am. So I sat down with Andy or actually in the other room, and I had already talked to Jacqueline, and I was like, hey, I want to get a full arm done. But I just want to make sure like you're okay with that. You know, it was a sweet moment to actually have with Andy, because people see Andy as like 6-pack or you're fired.
Yeah,
or, you know,
I see that.
People see him as that, and it's so funny because he is totally opposite.
And everybody I talk to says the
He's
same thing.
so opposite. He's like the biggest teddy bear, lovable guy. He's so sweet. Like,
That's cool.
Just like nurturing. Like he tells me all the time, like, you're like my third daughter. You know, he says things like that. So, you know, I sat down with him and I'm like, hey, I really want to get these tattoos done. And he is like, Celina, you can be free in this company. You can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
He's like, you can do whatever you want.
That's cool.
And I was just like, damn. He's like, this is a life by design. You can do whatever you want. He goes, but on one thing, there's one request. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And he's like, you have to stay in good shape and in good health. Yeah. That's my only request. He's like, because I want you to live as long as you possibly can, and I want to make sure that you look fit and you look good, and that's my only request of you as representing the content, the brand, is you take care of your health. Yeah. And I said, of course, that'll never go away. I've in the past 6 months, I've had a lot of family members that have passed from diet issues, putting bad things in their body, tobacco, smoking, drinking, a lot of that. And so I know like to stay away from that. And he's like, good, because I want you to live long and I want your kids to see your legacy and I want my kids to look up to you. So he's like, that's it. Other than that, you're free. You can do whatever you want.
That's cool.
I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, that just makes me feel so good that like, damn, I'm in the right freaking place where somebody loves me so much, and you know that. But he's also not just saying like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's yes and, not yes but, it's yes and take care of your health.
And those are the kind of conversations I need to have with my guys. Like, there's a lot I can learn, but.
And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Like we have uncomfortable conversations in our company too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough, but it's the only way that we will learn to grow, is having the uncomfortable conversations of I like this and I don't like this. And we have a rule, another policy is like no shit talking, no talking shit on anybody. Even if it was to me and like my boyfriend, and I go home after this and I'm like, oh my God, did you see what XYZ did? Nope. We do not allow that in our household, because it creates bad poison in the body. Yeah. And now you're feeling, like you feel icky when you talk shit about somebody, and then you know it, and then you bring it back into the company. So we don't talk shit on anybody. If there's a problem, it's just a golden thumb rule. You go up to them and sit down and have the conversation. Yeah. You know, like I manage a lot of like the hospitality sector of the Elliott Group, making sure our events go smoothly. I'm always concerned about what our clients feel when they come in. So I'm looking for different holes and leaks and opportunities in different ways. And, you know, and so I have to have conversations with all the guys, because majority of our team are guys. I'm like, put down the damn toilet seat. Yeah. You gotta put it down. There's other ladies that are here. Put the toilet paper on the rack. Don't just use it up and leave it alone. Put the roll on there. You know, little things like that. And they hate to have it, but I'm like, it's just the truth. Yeah. Like, don't you want to feel good about the way that we're taking care of people? Yeah. You know, so small things like that, or contributing. So there's two different kinds of people in a company, right? There's a consumer, somebody that just wants to take, or a contributor, somebody that's going to add value and add into something. And I'm like, you're not adding it in for me, you're adding it in for our community. Like our kids, this is like a kid's playground. Our kids come in and you're setting the standard for those kids. So like, what kind of standard are you going to have for them? Because when they take over, what's that life going to be like, you know? Because if we're like this here at work, we're like that at home.
Oh, yeah.
So Andy's got this policy. It's really cool. But new people don't know it. We had a guy one time that we were interviewing for a position, and before Andy even got started, like sitting down like this, like, tell me about your past. Because we, like I said, we hire by the heart, not by like freaking resume. Don't care how long you've been doing it, because if you're really coachable, we'll teach you how to do it. Yeah. So Andy goes, I wanna see your car. Take me out to your car. And the guy was like, what? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I think he was like editing or doing like media or something. And Andy is like, hey, you wanted to work here? Take me out to your car. So the guy opens up his passenger seat. Jacqueline and Andy are out there, and the inside of his car is trashed. Like nasty, you know, like McDonald's wrappers. I mean, it's not the best. And Andy is just like, here's the deal. If you can't take care of the inside of your car, how do you think that I think that you're going to take care of our company and our clients and our team if you can't take care of your car like that? So he's like, maybe we need to revisit this at another time. And that was it. Because it's like, if you can't take care of the inside of your car, what does your house look like? What does your relationship look like?
What's my truck going to look like? What's my...
Yeah, what the content that you're going to help produce us, or you know, whatever systems, funnels, processes, whatever that is, are you going to treat that like leftovers, like you do your car? Yeah. And that's just shows right there where your intentions are at, you know. Yeah. So like, we look at little things like that, and some people are like, you know, like that's too much or too harsh, but it's like, that's how we've gotten to building a 9-figure business within 3 years by running that way. So very militant, if you will, but it's not, it's just a standard. Yeah. Like, dude, treat your wife right, treat your kids right, treat your car right. Yeah. Treat your, so like everybody that's in here, like Josiah, he's part of our team. We have other people, like everybody is family. We do birthdays together. We do like trips together. You know, we go to Mexico to do together. We do everything together, and it's like, people think it's cult-like, what we were saying before the podcast, but on religion, but like, it's just a standard, like culture, team culture. And cult is the first 3 letters of culture, but you know, I mean, that's just right. This is just the truth. But like, no,
I try to.
When I see Bob, I'm just like, he gets it. Like, you're a personal trainer. He understands that, and we want to find people that just want to live by that standard, because it's like, the world is so mediocre right now. Yeah. Everybody's so freaking average, and it's like, what do we do to?
I see that people work just hard enough not to get fired, and it's like, why? Yeah. Why do you want to be like that in life, period? I don't get it.
Human excellence, that's what we talk about, growing. Don't you want to be better? And I guess, again, I used to be like that. So I have a background very similar to yours, very, very heavy into drinking. Yeah. I never did drugs, but I was around people that did drugs, you know, and it was pretty heartbreaking. Like, I remember going to a club before, like, for this, like 10 years ago, but I remember going into a club and seeing like one of the people that I looked up to the most, like somebody I really admired that taught me a lot about business and finance, and I walk into the bathroom and he's doing drugs in the bathroom, and I remember being so shocked, and I was just like, oh my God, like, he painted a certain picture to look one way, and then I was just like, man. You know, and then that's when I just became starving for more leaders of like, I don't want, and then it's just like, you're going clubs after club after club, partying after partying after partying every weekend, and I'm just like, going to work hungover, you know, trying to make it by, and drinking energy drinks just to make it, and I'm like, fuck, this life is so.
Well, what if that's how they networked, and that's how they grew?
Yeah.
But
it's like, that's not fulfilling, toxic. You know? No. Yeah, it's toxic. It's not like. Those things aren't, Andy always says this, whatever you're consuming or drinking or eating or doing, is that helping you get closer to your goal, or is it pulling away from your goal? You know? Yeah. It's like I could act like this and be all great and say how healthy I am, but every single night I go home and I'm eating 10 Snickers bars. And it's like, that's not helping me get to a better lifestyle, helping clear out my lungs and being around for my children, you know? Yeah. So it's like, but I can't tell somebody to go, you know, gain more muscle or lose weight or live a better healthy lifestyle if I'm not doing it too, because that's fraud work, you know.
And that's where I started this. That all started this year, and it sucks that it took me 19 years to do it. But I think, you know, by making an example of trying to get in shape and, putting a gym in the new spot. And
But you needed that to appreciate now.
yeah,
know?
I didn't appreciate anything. Like we were just kind of just rolling through the motions, like I was throwing poop at the wall, like I said, trying to advertise and grow and this and that. And we need more revenue. But it's not like that. It's totally different. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's
But I found
all
this year,
that's so cool.
just this year.
Good. I mean, there's some people, there's some people that we're working with right now that are like in their 60s and 70s and that are reaching out that are like, if I could save the world,
Yeah.
We're going to say something, Bob?
Yeah. So when he reached out to me, we started working together. His passion for business and growing and learning and everything like that. When he comes to work out, he is an absolute sponge. He wants to learn. He shows up every day.
I don't want to do it the wrong way.
Ready to work hard, works his ass off, asking questions. Like, we'll be doing something, I can see he's sweating, he's tired, he's getting exhausted. I'm testing him, I'll give him options. Okay, do you want to just kind of do this? Or do you want to try to go a little harder, do this? 95% of the time, he chooses the hard way, to go harder and push himself. Yeah. So he is
you want to feel that
growing,
pain.
evolving.
I get it.
Unbelievably.
I'm sick in the head. I tell this to Andy all the time. Andy and I, we identify each other as one, but I'm really sick in the head. I like pain, weirdly.
Yeah.
I love pain. I love, if I have a harder workout to do or a harder option. So my boyfriend and I, we're triathletes. We bike, swim, run, and we do races. We just got back from Florida doing a triathlon. And I love like being in pain because it's breaking myself to another level, and it's also helping me internally build my self-esteem because I feel so proud and so good of myself.
And that's what I try to do. He says, you don't need to have a PR every week, right? You don't need to have lift more weight. And I'm like, yes, I do. In my head, I do. And so just yesterday we were doing back, and I was following his lead to every machine, and I was like, God damn, 85 on one arm. All right, fine. I don't think I can do it, especially after everything we've done. And I was just like, and I did it. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I did it again, and then we went up to 100. It's like, I don't know. It was crazy. It's like you don't think you can do something, but then you just, if you don't try, you'll never know. Mm-hmm. And that's the same with literally everything. Everything. If you don't try something, you don't know if it's going to work. So, like in business, in health, in relationships, in everything, everything goes back to the same thing. And I was thinking about that last night as we were at the gym. I'm like, God damn, we've already done like 19 sets of shit. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And I'm just like, okay. And I did it. And I did it, 12 times. And I was like, holy shit.
You're falling back in love with yourself.
Yeah.
You're falling back in love with yourself, and that's where the belief and the faith like turns into. I wrote this down. I wanted to share it with you. It's from Napoleon Hill. I read it this morning. Poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. So if you think that you're only going to make a certain amount of money, if you think you're only going to lift a certain amount, and you think these certain ways, your thoughts are going to be what's going to cap those things. But if you can double or triple, and you can envision the paycheck, you can envision the body on you. You want it so bad that you got it tattooed on you. Like, that's psycho shit. Like, yeah. I love being around people that are going to pull me to my next level. There's a reason why I don't contact people from high school anymore, because they're still doing the same shit. I'm like, I don't want to, that's my old life. Like, I don't even like to think about it.
Right now.
And I'm just like, no, and I have to cut those people off. And unfortunately, some of them were family members.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you're crazy. Like, just come home, relax. Why can't you have a drink? And I'm like, I don't want to have a drink. I want to freaking read a book. Like, I want to do some cool stuff with my life.
No, and that was me. Everybody thought, like, if I go out, we're going to have a good time because Robert's going to get drunk and we're going to... And I had to say, just recently, I was like, I don't drink. I'm not going to drink. And it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
Yep.
I'm like, what do you mean, why? I'm not going to drink.
That's weird.
And my wife's been getting it for her, because she doesn't drink. She hasn't drinking in like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird thing to people. Why? Come on, here. Just take a shot. Just take a shot.
It's so social
it's like,
now.
Why?
People need it as a social factor to have to consume it. And it's like, nah, I'm good.
It's cool if you have a beer with your buddies on a boat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. But like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's just kind of weird to me now. I thought it was like, God damn, he's so lucky. He's able to just drink at home and he's having so much fun. But it's like, no, you're killing yourself. Like,
Yeah, literally.
and I was killing myself forever.
Yeah, none of us here at the Elliott Group drink. No, but I mean, if we go to like Mexico, like we may have like everybody gets one drink because we're out on the beach. It's a company trip. We're all there and nobody's driving or anything. So we'll have like a margarita or something. But it's very occasional. But nobody here drinks.
That was another thing. I got 2 DUIs.
Ah, see,
and that was
you knew.
05 and 06. And so,
yeah, that life. That person is coming back to you, knocking on the door, saying, "Hey, come back," and you're like, "No."
Yeah.
Like I have to face myself in the mirror every single day and be like, "I'm not the old Celina," and the old Celina tries to creep back in and like get into this comfort zone, and I'm like, "I don't want comfort land. I don't want comfort land," and that's where the pain comes into of doing the more reps, doing the harder reps, because so it's weird. Like when I wake up every morning, and I know that you're like this. When I wake up, when you go into a garage, you know this because I'm sure you've installed shades around a garage before. When you go into a garage and somebody's got like all these compartments, like these little plastic bins of compartments on their work shelf or their bench. Yeah. Well, I have like these compartments inside of my brain, and literally I open up, move the shelf of compartment by my brain like this, and I intentionally am seeking for more stress to put inside of that pocket every day, because your body doesn't know the difference between stress in the gym and stress at work because it's all the same chemical. So if I can cycle hard for 2 hours every single morning, getting up at 4 a.m., oh man, by the time I come into work at 8 o'clock, I'm good. So if anything does come my way, I'm good because my body is so used to that initial chemical that it doesn't know the difference. So I'm like battle tested. I'm like ready for war. Yeah. So I love that compartment of taking it in for stress because I'm like, now I'm good for the day. And then I feel good. My heart's pumping. I'm awake. I'm like the first person up in the whole company. Everybody says that they try to beat me. I'm like, let me see your alarm clocks. I think I got you beat on fire. But like that's like this. That's what I say. Like the sickness. Like I love. And I don't like to be around sometimes the people that are the most buff in the company. I actually like the people that are like on their journey, because I get to encourage them. And I'm like, come on, let's get to this. Like you and me together, we're gonna go through this journey. And I'm not like the biggest jacked with the arms. Jacqueline's more jacked than I am. Yeah. But I'm like, I like being around that because I'm like, let's go to the next level, you know? Anyways,
that's wrong.
The last thing that I wanna leave us off, so I title my podcast, it's called Shattering Limiting Beliefs, because I've broken through a lot of things. Like I used to say, women can't sell cars. I used to condition myself, or I can't be as good selling cars because I'm a girl. I used to have a lot of clients that would say, can I work with somebody else, please? Insinuating I don't want to work with a female, I want to work with a guy. So that used to limit my belief of like, oh, I can't make a lot of money because people don't want to work with me because I'm a girl. I had to go through a process of shattering that limiting, capping belief. So what is a limiting belief that you've had that you have shattered through?
Being able to just buy a building. That was one belief. There's so many, holy shit. Just being able to commit to going to the gym. Like I've had a gym in my house, like a full-on gym for like 20 years. And it's in my house. I can just walk a couple steps and I'm there. And I don't use it until, this happened, and now I'm like, I've got to go every single day. And so, I mean, and now we're going on 10 weeks. Like I tried to work out. It lasted a week, because I had nobody pushing me, nobody helping. And then same thing with like buying a building, taking a leap to just, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to spend $1 million on a building. What if I fail? And I just did it. Now this new building, I'm going to spend this on a building. Well, to be able to go to the next level, you need to be able to do that. And I'm scared of shit, but I'm still doing it. And I think because we're going to get into that building, it's going to shatter the next ceiling. And then, holy shit. And that's my belief. And I'm not going to fucking stop. So my next building is going to be the new ceiling to Shatter, and I think then the ceiling's going to keep getting higher, and I hopefully can take the whole block. I don't know. That's kind of what I think.
I love that. Buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just like your Legos, your building blocks.
His mentality,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
So if we can get, like I got this building, 12,000 square feet. I thought I was going to be able to do so much with it. It is a 12,000 square feet storage facility of sold product. Right? Now if we can make some stuff, have some machines, have more, I can't even put another truck. So we're stuck. We're like literally stuck.
Maxed out on the room.
We're maxed out on the room, so I can't add another tech. I can't add another crew. So I just went triple on the next one. Even though I can make this work. I can make what I have work. Just my wife walked in there. She's like, "You're a fucking guy. I can make this a lot more organized." and she said, "I can make this work. You can make this work." But I'm not. No. I want to have to make it work. I am going to get this other building, and we're gonna make it to where that's too small. And holy shit, but when we do that. Yeah, I think that's
awesome.
gonna be great.
That's cool, and that's where it starts from is the mind. Andy and I wanted to give you something. This is really special to us. A lot of our like best performing clients that we have, a lot of amazing people that have come through our offices, like Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins' right hand guy. We have these custom made lion pins for them, and we wanted to give one to you as part of your token and your journey and what you've come through and how you've grown. We only
literally matches everything I'm wearing.
We don't have very many of those. We're limited on them, but just kind of like the ammo box, it's very exclusive to us. But it's a great. I have a pink one for ladies, so you can put it on like blouse, shirt, or wherever, or backpack. But that is a representation of like you have the lion that's inside of your heart. You've got the heart of a champion. Yeah, and that's what I was actually going to put on my leg is the lion, lion's face, just like that. Yeah. Because it's like I just want to go after it and. I know I can, and I don't know why more people don't think that way. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand it. That's why we're here, to help broaden that spectrum, broaden that viewpoint of like anything is possible. That's amazing. And that's why you're here, because I want your testimony and your story to share with other people. Like, hey, if I can do it and I've got 2 DUIs too, like you can do it too, Nobody thought I would do anything. And now, you know what they're saying? If Robbie can do it. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Isn't that crazy? So it's like a backhanded compliment. I take it personally, but then I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, that's right. If I can do it, you can probably do it. Yeah. So do it. There's this fine line of like telling people like, hey, I'm going to go all in. Like, hey, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm going all in on just, staying sober. And then there's other people that are going to be like, they're waiting, they're watching on you to fall back, You've got, I have people that are waiting for like when I decided to move everything, I sold my whole house. I literally had no money in my bank account, bought a U-Haul, broke my lease, and moved out here to come and work for Andy. And this was 2 years ago where Andy wasn't anybody yet. Like Andy had like 12,000 followers on Instagram. Like everybody's like, oh, who's this bald guy freaking, like what he does car sales training? Like, now we build like businesses and teams, right? But back then he wasn't anything. So I had so many people that are like, we'll wait for the day that you quit. You'll have a job back here, but probably nobody else will hire you back in town because you quit on them. And I think about those people and I'm like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And those people are waiting for me to toss the hat in and be like, it didn't work, I know that those people are waiting and watching. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to prove those people wrong every single day. I mean, it's for me as well, but I remember a guy telling me one time, he goes, what are you going to do? What's going to happen the day when you're not cute and pretty and fit and you decide to have a baby and you gain a bunch of weight and you let yourself go and Jacqueline and Andy fire you because you don't look like the rest of the team? And I was just like, why would you even say that? Why would you even say that to me? And I'll never forget those words. And I knew it wasn't him. It wasn't the guy telling me that. You know who it was? It was the devil. It was the devil trying to tell me, you can't make it out there. You're not going to make it. You should just stay right here where you're comfortable and where you know what's best for you. It wasn't him, it was the devil. And I knew at that moment, like, there's the old Celina and devil knocking on the door in that mirror. Come back, Celina. And I'm just like, nope, I made a commitment. I'm going to be a woman of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And now guess what? They're freaking all like, I knew you were going to do it, Celina. I knew you were going to kill it. And I'm just like, funny how that works out, isn't it? They're all like, oh, I knew you were going to make it. I knew you were going to do big things. And it's like,
no.
You know, so I know you have those people too
I
that
do.
are that
it's
have been
happening
there.
right now. Well, because I just started putting myself out there. And because I put my head in the sand for a long time. Nobody, you know, so then now I have things and I have a business and they see, you know, there's commercials, there's billboards, there's radio, there's people, there's talk. And they're like, what the fuck is going on here? I get a few DMs, like I got one last week that was so cool. It was somebody I've known since like middle school. So they know who the fuck I am.
Yeah, they've seen everything, the stages.
And for her to say, this is what my husband's going through, you're an inspiration, I was like, holy shit, no way.
Wow.
He's doing the same thing, but she's never like liked any of my posts or, you know, so it came out of the blue. And I showed my wife, I was like, this is fucking insane. This is cool. Like, this is happening. And that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I didn't think like when it finally hit, and it was like the second time it's happened, but
imagine how many other people are watching. They just don't say anything.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they never said a word. They didn't comment on any post that I ever did, and to get a message like that was like, so I can make a difference. I could, holy shit. And my people, they're saying the same thing. They're like, holy shit, your clothes are smaller. Your focus. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
That's what the guys are saying at work.
That's
and
cool.
It was like, holy shit, yeah.
That's cool. Okay, and what is the best way, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, ask you more about your business, ask you questions about your story, what's the best way that people can get a hold of you?
So Instagram, it's the Robert Mulvin or allproshade.com or allproshadeconcepts.com. I just shortened it, allproshade.com. Or Instagram or
send you a
the
DM?
website. Yeah, send me a DM.
Cool. Okay, awesome. And we'll make sure that everything is posted in the description as well too. Reach out to Robert. His story is incredible. It's amazing, and you're only like 20 minutes away from us, 30 minutes away. So it's great that he'll be within proximity to us. Until then, guys, continue to shatter your limiting beliefs. We will see you next time. Hey, Elliott Army, what's going on? Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you like that video, you're gonna love this other content. Here's a couple of other videos that are very similar to that one. Let's get it.